All right, we're in the Cybertruck, full self-driving, 13.2.8. Press to drive. Okay, I will. As soon as these cars leave the way. And in this area, it's kind of difficult to get around. I'm not parked the right way, and the truck doesn't know that. Actually, I was parked the wrong way because I was parked head out, even you're supposed to be head in. Whatever. The car doesn't have to know that, and I figured a way out, and that's what context driving is all about. You have to figure out on your feet how to get out, what's safe, what's not. It did. We're all good. Did I want to touch on a subject? Tesla's market share and the reduction of the market share and how that doesn't matter. And when you say someone loses market share and it doesn't matter, it may seem counterintuitive. It may seem like it doesn't make sense. Tesla is one of the early adopters of electric vehicles, like very, very early adopter of electric vehicles. At one point, they had at least 70% of the EV market share in America. And that is just not sustainable. I mean, mathematically, it becomes very hard. Let's just say you start off at 100% market share. You're the only one in town. Well, that means that if Ford were to produce just one vehicle and sell one vehicle, in theory, you would be losing market share. Because that's just math, bro. It's just math. Somebody else has entered the chat. The market has new competition, and over time the market is going to mature. Does it mean that it's a bad thing? No, not really. The goal of a company like Tesla, or just companies in general, I can arguably say that it's not about market share. Not at all. For instance, if Lucid were to join the market and they grab the market share, 0.001% market, and then next month they have 0.002% of the market, you can say, ooh, they doubled their market share. But what does that mean? Well, it means that it could mean that they sold more cars, or maybe they sold more cars, but at a slower rate. You would still gain market share. But the name of the game isn't really market share. Nobody judges a company based upon their market share. Nobody judges a first mover based on their market share. Apple was a first mover into the cell phone area. Oh, wow. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is uncomfortable as hell. And yeah, I'm not touching anything, yo. But it is kind of scary just trusting this thing is gonna stop for that car that just. Anyhow, so going back to the subject, Apple they had a really high market share, and then they slowly lost market share to Android and the various numbers of they even lost market share to Windows Phone at some point. But it doesn't matter, because Windows Phone collapsed. Even though they gained market share initially, they eventually collapsed. What a company is looking for is not market share. They are looking for expansion. Market share just happens to be an attribute of expansion. It doesn't necessarily mean that a smaller market share is less expansion. You could say that in 2024, Tesla produced and sold a ton of cars. They sold like over 1 million. I believe it was like 1.2 million units that they sold. So does it mean that because their market share is dropping that their financials are less stable? It doesn't really mean anything, right? The market share argument is just, it's a nice to have PolitiFact almost. It's kind of irrelevant, especially irrelevant if you're the first mover. If you're the first to start doing something, you're first out of the gate, so you have the highest market share. You're going to have shrinkage over time. I mean, as the market matures. So the market share stops mattering after time. And Apple, I mean, they've lost considerable amount of market share, and they are still a very strong company. They do dominate certain areas, and for certain people, Apple or bust. And so Tesla's getting into that sort of mentality, and they don't have, I mean, are they gonna dominate the market? I don't think so. And the reason I say that is that you can argue that Apple had some really nice stuff for your phone. Maybe it's not going to be on the level of full self-driving on a car. Maybe not. Okay, but Apple did have some really nice stuff that no other brands could match, like the integration between like a MacBook and a phone. You can just send files back and forth with AirDrop. You can FaceTime people. You can text from your laptop. Your laptop has Find My on it. You can find where your missing laptop is. And it's just incredible. And it's not in conventional PCs, laptops, Chromebooks, whatever. They just don't integrate that nicely. But Apple does. And even then, they haven't really taken over the market. I mean, their sales are great, but from what I call, they don't completely own the market. They're doing well, they don't own the market. So from that point of view, is full self-driving going to be that it factor that forces everybody to go to Tesla, or force everybody to recognize that you have to have full self-driving in your vehicles? I don't think so, unless it gets this one thing. Unless it gets this one thing, and it's gonna be money. Money talks. Not only that money talks, it's money is proof. Is this full self-driving going to cost me less in insurance costs? Is it gonna be fault of the Tesla if my car is in an accident due to the full self-driving? And I believe when it gets to that point, when people start questioning the price savings year after year on insurance, when that starts getting applied, then that will be the deal breaker. I mean, it's going to be the deal maker for Tesla. Is this car going to produce me money as a side income as a robotaxi? Can I do that without me even sitting in the car? So if either one of those happens, then Tesla is gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up. It's gonna completely dominate the markets. But until then, I think people will always be tentative on Tesla. Even despite how great the full self-driving is, there's going to be some reservations. I can drive myself. I like to drive. I like to sit in traffic. You'll make an excuse for it until it becomes financially viable. Anyhow, that's all I got for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like, subscribe, share. See you in the next one. Take care.